The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. The Office of the Prime Minister says efforts were made to save that BPL land deal that lost the government $7 million. The FNM chairman says cancel that road project in Grand Bahama and go to a bid. And price inspectors visit stores as the VAT goes into effect, but some stores still had the old VAT rate up. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of the start. Know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Chester Robards will be here. Also this morning, we'll get a preview of the upcoming IBS Build-A-Bridge Challenge. All the details of that exciting event every year. And then later in business, we're celebrating a big milestone, Executive Business Solutions, and we'll talk about what they do going forward and what we can expect. That's all straight ahead. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, the Office of the Prime Minister issuing a statement on that BPL land deal that we learned about in the House of Assembly last week. A statement saying that after the Davis administration took office in September 2021, BPL's lawyers attempted to renegotiate that land deal that was not yet finalized, seeking to at least retain a portion of the land equal to the $7 million that had already been spent. But those efforts were apparently met with silence from the vendor. In the statement, released nearly a week after the issue was first raised in Parliament with finger-pointing over whether the current or past administration was to blame over BPL's loss of the $7 million it had paid to the property or for the property that it never received in a deal that was never closed, BPL said it was seeking to secure the property for an LNG terminal facility. OPM saying that just weeks before the general election, the Minnis-Pintard administration kept spending money they didn't have on a reckless $14 million land deal tied to a project they knew had no path forward. That's in the statement. It said that BPL had made it clear that the only way to close the land deal was with proceeds from the rate reduction bond that the FNM had failed to execute. Its administration took office. The promissory note had already been amended 3 times. It said, quote, no legal safeguards were put in place in this arrangement under the previous government. No protections for public money, no guarantees to recover what had already been spent. While Energy Minister JoBeth Colby-Davis revealed in Parliament a week ago the BPL lost that $7 million, leader Michael Pintard told the House that the deal ended under the PLP and accused the minister of being misleading. The closing date was December 31st, 2021, just over 3 months after the change in government. F&M Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands says that the government should cancel the $183 million no-bid contract awarded to an affiliate of Bahama Striping Group of companies for roadworks in West Grand Bahama and open the process to competitive bidding. Sands says he was flabbergasted by the revelation that the contract was issued to Abaco Caribbean Holdings Limited on December 18, 2024, through a direct award. That information contained in a government public procurement list for contracts awarded in December 2024 and January 2025. That list published on Monday. When contacted by the NASA Guardian for comment, Sands questioned the price tag of the project, saying, quote, "Do we even have $180 million worth of roads in West Grand Bahama? When you look at the typical description of costs of paving per mile, you know it could be upwards of $1 million a mile. It could be a little bit less." Well, among the reasons for direct award of contracts are emergency and urgent situation as outlined in the Procurement Act, or completion of or extension of a contract for goods or services currently being provided when the value of the proposed goods or services does not exceed $100,000, or no other suitable bids were received. The law mandates that a procuring entity include in its records justification for using a non-competitive method, such as a direct award in the award of a contract. Price inspectors from the Consumer Affairs Unit visited several grocery to ensure that the government's reduction on value-added tax on unprepared foods was being adhered to. The government cut VAT on those items from 10% to 5%. That took effect yesterday, April 1st. The head of the Consumer Affairs Unit, Rex Adderley, saying his team found some items were still reflecting the 10% VAT rate when they visited some stores yesterday. A man who shot and killed his girlfriend and dumped her body in the South Beach Canal, sentenced to 20 years in prison after taking a plea deal. 36-year-old Juliano Dorset admitted to the April 19, 2023 murder of Yinka Strachan, who was 4 at the time, when he appeared before Justice Janine Weish Gomez. He will receive credit for the 2 years that he spent on remand. In his police interview, Dorset claimed that he picked up Strachan on the night in question. During the drive, they had a row about her cheating. Dorset alleged that Strachan was accidentally shot in the stomach when he reached for his gun that was on her lap. He claimed that Strachan told him not to take her to the hospital because she didn't want him to get arrested. Rather than seeking professional help, Dorset went to buy a friend and bandages from a friend's home to treat her himself. However, Strachan's condition deteriorated, and Dorset said he shot her in the head to end her suffering. He later discarded her body in the canal. She was found the following day by men swimming in the area. Weish Gomez commended Dorset for pleading guilty and wished him good luck in the future. A 40-year-old man charged with molesting his teenage stepdaughter, the resident of New Providence, was not required to enter pleas to 2 counts of unlawful sexual intercourse with a dependent when he appeared before Assistant Chief Magistrate Carolyn Vogue Evans. The incidents allegedly happened in June 2024 and February 2025. The alleged victim is now 13 years old. The matter adjourned to July 19th for the presentation of a voluntary bill of indictment. The accused was denied bail. Overseas, Israel's military operation in the Gaza Strip is expanding to seize large areas. Israel's offensive in the Palestinian territory expanding to crush and clean the area, those are their words, of militants, and seizing large areas that will be added to the security zones of the State of Israel. That's according to the Defense Minister, Israel Katz. In a written statement, the Israeli government has long maintained a buffer zone just inside Gaza along its security fence and has greatly expanded since the war began in 2023. Israel says the buffer zone is needed for its security, while Palestinians view it as a land grab that further shrinks the narrow coastal territory home to around 2 million people. Katz didn't specify which areas of Gaza would be seized in the expanded operation, which he said includes the extensive evacuation of the population from fighting areas. His statement coming after Israel ordered the full evacuation of the southern city of Rafah and nearby areas. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said Israel aims to maintain an open-ended but unspecified security control of Gaza once it achieves its aim of crushing Hamas. And rescue crews in Myanmar are pulling a 26-year-old man out alive from the rubble of the capital city hotel where he worked early Wednesday. But most teams were finding only bodies 5 days after a massive earthquake hit the country. After using an endoscopic camera to pinpoint the man's location in the rubble and confirm that he was alive, the man was gingerly pulled through a hole, jackhammered through a floor, and loaded onto a gurney nearly 100 who was trapped in the hotel where he worked. Shirtless and covered in dust, he appeared weak but conscious in a video released by the local fire department as he was fitted with an IV drip and taken away. State-run MRTV reported that the rescue in the city of Naypyidaw was carried out by a Turkish and local team and took more than 9 hours. That 7.7 magnitude earthquake hit midday Friday, toppling thousands of buildings, collapsing bridges, and buckling roads. So far, 2,886 people have been reported dead in Myanmar and another 4,639 injured. But local reports suggest the figures are much higher. The earthquake also rocked neighboring Thailand, causing the collapse of a high-rise building under construction in Bangkok. One body was removed from the rubble early today, raising the death toll in Bangkok to 22, with 34 injured, primarily at the construction site. In sports, the accolades continue to pour in for two-time world indoor champion and world record holder Devin, treated to a grand reception and celebration, signing a $30,000 endorsement deal with BTC and her alma mater, St. Augustine's College, on Tuesday. Charlton, back home after a trying but rewarding indoor season, says she's grateful for the honor and looks forward to representing BTC as a brand ambassador in the immediate future. She's taking some time before preparing for the outdoor season. You can read more about this deal with BTC and what an endorsement deal with SAC means in today's Guardian Sports section. From the NBA, Bahamian professional basketball player Kai Jones has found a home in Dallas ever since signing a two-way contract with the Dallas Mavericks. The Bahamian star has been producing. Jones has suited up 8 times, starting 7 of those games. With Dallas, he's averaging 12.1 points and 7.5 rebounds per game while shooting a scorching hot 84% from the field. He's hit one of his 2 3-point attempts. Jones has 5 double-digit scoring games, including his first 4 in a Mavericks uniform. In his latest outing on Monday, he was held to just 7 points on 3 for 4 shooting in a 113-109 loss for the Brooklyn Nets, to the Brooklyn Nets in Dallas. Right now, Jones and the Mavericks sit in the 9th spot in the playoff race in the Western Conference with a 37-39 win-loss record. They're just a half game ahead of the Sacramento Kings and 1.5 games ahead of the 11th place Phoenix Suns. More from the NBA. Detroit's Isaiah Stewart has been suspended for 2 games, and 4 other players from the Pistons and the Minnesota Timberwolves drew 1-game suspensions for their role in an on-court altercation between the teams earlier this week. Stewart got 2 games based in part on his repeated history of unsportsmanlike acts, according to the NBA. The league handed the 1-game bans to Detroit's Ron Holland II, Marcus Sasser, along with Minnesota's Naz Reid, and Dante DiVincenzo. All 5 of those players were ejected from Sunday's game, as were Detroit coach J.B. Bickerstaff and Minnesota assistant Pablo Prigion. The incident began when Holland fouled Reid with 8 minutes and 36 seconds left in the second quarter on the Timberwolves' 123-104 victory over the Pistons in Minneapolis. Reid confronted Holland, who then pushed DiVincenzo, who then shoved Holland, and they wound up falling into spectators seated along the baseline. And the last time Stephen Curry and Golden State played in Memphis, he was held without a field goal, and the Warriors lost by 51 points. Curry didn't get lost in December, and there was no repeat Tuesday night. Curry fired up 3-pointers throughout the contest, connecting on a dozen from long range on the way to a 52-point performance as the Warriors beat the Grizzlies 134-125. The victory moved the Warriors past Memphis into 5th place in the Western Conference and benefited in 2 areas. With the victory, Golden State won the season series 3-1, giving them a 2-game lead over the Grizzlies in the standings. And more big scoring from Nikola Jokic. The Denver Nuggets big man can't wait to get some sleep after a career-best 61-point performance in which he played nearly 53 minutes. He didn't leave the court after halftime of a 140-139 double overtime loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves Tuesday night. His scoring spree was the most by a player in the NBA this season. Jokic also had 10 rebounds and 10 assists, notching the third 60-point triple-double in NBA history. Luka Doncic did it on December 27, 2022, and James Harden did it January 30th, 2018. But the Nuggets coach Michael Malone calling Jokic the Superman. His previous career best was 56 points in a loss at Washington on December 7th. The franchise mark is held by David Thompson, who had 73 points at Detroit on April 9th, 1978. At sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. First look at weather for today. We have a near gale watch in effect for the central and southeast Bahamas and a near gale warning coming into effect tonight. I'll tell you more on that in a bit. We've got a strengthening ridge of high pressure centered in the Atlantic that continues to produce moderate to fresh winds and adverse marine conditions across the country. So broad high pressure ridging will support breezy to windy conditions, hazardous easterly swells, and isolated quick passing shower activity across the area into Saturday. By Sunday, winds and seas will subside as the ridge progressively weakens and retracts eastward into the Atlantic. Early in the work week, a cold front is expected to move near the northern part of the Bahamas, and that's going to enhance shower and thunderstorm activity as it moves off the coast of Florida. But at the moment, due to the persistent dry conditions we're seeing, and everyone's being advised to be alert for brush fires, so refrain from burning trash, properly discard glass, cigarettes, and other flammable materials. Beachgoers are also advised to stay out of the waters of the eastern and southern shorelines and all Atlantic beaches due to the elevated risk of rip currents and possible rough surf. We're expecting a hot day today, and the UV index will be a factor. I haven't had that issue since late last year, but keep that in mind. So for today, your forecast. Partly sunny today, turning mostly fair tonight for most areas. We've got about a 10% chance of showers. Slightly elevated chance, maybe up to 20% in the southeast Bahamas. Winds southerly or southeasterly at 15 to 20 knots for the northern islands, but east to southeast at 15 to 20 knots for the rest of the country. Temperatures today, highs near 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down about 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have more on your extended outlook coming up in just a bit.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
It is time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Wake up, it's a new day.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Southwest Plaza has so many stores, I've been trying to find a sensible way to list them all. There's CBS Bahamas, the Ashai Institute, BENC Snack World, Bamboo Shack Bahamas, there the Athlete's Foot and BTC, Games and More, John Bull Fine Threads, Alive, Bahari, Dairy Queen, 700 Wines and Spirits, Sandy's Clocks and Island Lock, Starbucks and Lowe's Pharmacy, plus Marco's Pizza and Lorraine. Southwest Plaza, what a wide array of stores. Southwest Plaza, stop by today and explore.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Looking to elevate your gadget game or a tech trouble simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello? This Epic battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Chester Robards. Chester Robards, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here today. Appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure.
Okay, great. A lot to get to this morning. In our 8 o'clock hour, we're going to be talking with IBS Build-A-Bridge Challenge. It's back. This long-running, exciting program. A lot of people know it as the Popsicle Bridge Contest. We're going to get the details about this year's event. And then later in business, we're talking with Executive Business Solutions. They're celebrating a big anniversary. And they'll tell us about their work as a business consulting firm, certified accountant, work more. A whole lot to talk about with them. That's ahead. But right now, let's get into what else is in the news. And in the news, quite a bit we're going to try to get to this morning. So, of course, the VAT reduction on food items is in place now, went into effect yesterday. Price inspectors were out yesterday. Most places seem to be, according to articles that we're seeing, reports that we're hearing, most places seem to be in compliance. But a few still had the old rate up, the old 10% rate up unprepared food items. 5% now, VAT. Although there is an article in the other paper, the Tribune, saying that at least one merchant was caught by surprise about what we talked to Michael Halkitis about yesterday, Chester, that sweets and sugary drinks were not in this reduction. I don't know if you'd heard that before yesterday, that sugary drinks and candy weren't going to be a part of it.
Why should they be?
Okay, but had you heard that before, that they weren't going to be a part of this?
I mean, I didn't think about it, to be honest. But then I didn't think that they should be.
If you go by that, there's tons of food that shouldn't be. That is a very slippery slope once you start going down that road, right? And as we heard from our discussion yesterday with the minister, perhaps, they'll have to look at it. Maybe sugar-free drinks shouldn't be included in the 10% VAT. Maybe they should get the reduced VAT. So this could really get complicated.
They're good for you.
What's good for you? Is anything good for you anymore? I mean, you could make a case that...
Not a single thing.
Right, exactly. So you don't want to go down that road. This isn't good for you. This type of meat isn't good for you. We don't think this should get this VAT rate. Huh? So you're looking for trouble. But anyway, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more said on that over the next few days. That's happening. It's a big story. The OPM finally issuing a statement that we just learned about last week. And we're going to go through that in a bit. And there's F&M Chairman Dwayne Sand saying that the government needs to cancel that no-bid contract that was issued for roadworks in West Grand Bahama and go to bid through the proper procurement procedures as required by law, or explain why this company got a no-bid contract. We'll get to all of that in a bit. But I almost fell out of my chair during the news update on this court story. And I'm going to read this again because this is very disturbing on many levels. So we've got this on page 2 in the Nassau Guardian today. Man sentenced to 20 years for killing girlfriend. Our Artesia Davis is writing about this. So a man who shot and killed his girlfriend and dumped her body in the South Beach Canal. I'm hearing music. Is that me or... Music is okay. Something's going on with my headphones. A man who shot and killed his girlfriend and dumped her body in the South Beach Canal was on Tuesday sentenced to 20 years in prison after taking a plea deal. 36-year-old Juliano Dorset admitted to the April 19th, 2023 murder of 42-year-old Yinka Strachan when he appeared before Justice Janine Weich Gomez. He will receive credit for the 2 years that he spent on remand. In his police interview, Dorset claimed that he picked up Strachan on the night in question about her cheating. Dorset alleged that Strachan was accidentally shot in the stomach when he reached for his gun that was on her lap. Okay. Number one, yeah? Got that, Chester? Yeah? The gun was on her lap. Gun was on her lap for some reason during the drive when they were having a row about her cheating. He claimed that Strachan told him not to take her to the hospital because she didn't want him to get arrested after he accidentally shot her in the stomach with a gun which we can assume was illegal. Rather than seeking professional help, Dorset went by a friend and got some peroxide and bandages from a friend's home to treat her himself. Because I really, my bottles of peroxide don't say, it says cuts, bruises. I don't see gunshots. Maybe yours, you have maybe one of those fancy brands, Chester. No?
Not my peroxide, no.
No. Okay. However, Strachan's condition deteriorated. Shocking. And Dorset said he shot her in the head to end her suffering.
Huh? You want that? Hey,
Yeah.
This a book you reading?
This is in the Nassau Guardian. This is happening in the Bahamas. This is who we live amongst. He shot her in the head to end her suffering. He later discarded her body, yeah, that's a good word, in the canal after he shot her in the head to end her suffering. She was found the following day by a man swimming in the area. This is his girlfriend, by the way. Weich Gomez, this is the judge, commended Dorset for pleading guilty and wished him good luck in the future.
How old is this guy again?
36.
Okay, 20 years ain't enough.
Wished him good luck in the future. I don't know what that means. The judge said, quote, only God could forgive you, but our God is a forgiving God. 20 years may seem like a lifetime. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But trust me, 20 years will go by very quickly, so I wish you very well in the future. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening here? What's happening here? Huh? He's 36, so he's not going to be old when he gets out. What are we doing? What are we doing? You're trying to make these people feel good about themselves? I wish you all the best in the future. 20 years may... What? I don't even want to do the show anymore. I want to go. Can I go, Chester? Will you handle it? Can I go? I have to process this.
Where do you want to go? Say what now?
I can't continue. Dorset complained about the negative environment in the maximum security prison. Oh, yeah. It's probably as bad as getting shot in the head.
I'm sorry, he did what?
Yeah, he complained about the negative environment in the maximum security prison part
The
of the
negative
prison.
environment?
Negative environment. He said, quote, a lot of these individuals are experienced jailers. I don't know what that means. Career criminals. Most days, I can't go a day without hearing about murder. What the hell? We got to take a break. Can we play music for the rest of the show?
This is not what this man was saying in court.
Oh, God. What's happening? What is happening?
Are you serious?
This is the story. Am I dreaming? This could be a dream. Is real? Am I here? I'm in the middle of a nightmare, right? I'm going to wake up, my alarm will go off, and then it'll be a new day. I can't go a day without hearing about murder, about hearing about what gang did this. This one talking about how many murders he did. I'm sure they're all shocked by your story, sir. Very shocked by what you did. Dorset claimed that he had previously held a supervisory role in customer service. Oh my God! and he was interested in learning a trade. Chester, we're not supposed to have dead air. Can you say something while I catch myself?
I'm waiting for the rest of this novel to finish that you're reading.
Oh boy.
You at the end of this novel yet?
Yeah. It says
Telenovela.
who his lawyer was. Oh, wow.
Who was his lawyer?
Oh, you really want to know?
Of course we want to know.
He was represented by Stanley Roll. Ashton Williams was the prosecutor. 20 years. 20 years. I just want to read the parts again that really got to me. So, the gun accidentally, she was accidentally shot in the stomach. When he reached for his gun, why was he doing that? That was on her lap. Because that's what you do. You get in the car, here's my gun, put it in your lap. On these potholy streets? Yeah. Okay. And he didn't take her to the hospital because she didn't want him to get arrested. Because despite the cheating and all this stuff, she still cared about him and getting shot in the stomach. She still didn't want him to get arrested. Yep. And then the fact that they went by somebody's home, and who's that person? And they got peroxide and bandages.
Was that person named, and did they testify?
At least in the old Western movies I used to watch, they used to take it to that old guy with no teeth, and he used to try to pull out the bullet with the forceps or whatever it is. He used to try to do something, not peroxide and bandages.
At least in the new movies, they take you to the veterinarian.
Chester. Oh, God. Okay. But her condition deteriorated, and then he shot her in the head to end the suffering. And he's worried about the career criminals in maximum security. Well, I guess that's why the judge said good luck.
Maybe that is why. Strange things do happen in the prison, especially recently.
True. People killing people twice. Two different people, let's say that. And still waiting on the trial for the first. This can't be real. The whole place can't be real. Did you used to watch Dallas as a kid? No?
I did.
Do you remember that season that was a whole dream?
I definitely do not remember.
What? It was crazy. It was like, my producer remembers. Bobby died, and then the whole season they were mourning him. And then his wife wakes up when she hears the water running, and she goes in the shower, and he says, and he's alive. I think this is what's been happening for the Bahamas. This can't be real. I think maybe how many years do you think we've been dreaming? 15, 20? I hope I wake up soon. Oh boy, let's read some messages. You can give your comments on this very disturbing story. And I feel for the family. Yinka Strawn, I don't know. Wow, this is rough. So this person, let's read the messages. Man. The article about the shooting. This is the Twilight Zone. Lord, help us all. Yes, I feel the same way. This person says here that killer's head is no good. And they're saying something not nice about the judge, too. Wow. This person says he is a prime candidate for vigilante justice. Let him out, please. Please. Why did I even read that? No, I think maximum security is the best place for him. This person says here, this texture says here that a senior PLP, he is like the PLP leadership in denial of reality. You'll always have to work into politics, eh? This person says here, I guess that doesn't qualify as the worst of the worst. Great message for addressing our crime crisis. Why isn't this statistically dominant voting bloc beating down the door of the Attorney General and Prime Minister Why aren't we all crackhead games? What is the statistically dominant voting bloc? You mean women? I mean, all people should be offended and disturbed by this story. Everybody. People from all over the world should be disturbed that this kind of stuff is happening here. This person says here, the justice system is fostering these criminals, and this is a bleeping instance. Well, remember, we've heard already, so don't get too worked up about that sentence. Once you plead guilty, you're ready to get time off. You're ready to get time deducted. Right? What was the number, Chester? Was it a third or something? Something crazy like that.
Yeah,
I guess he could have gotten 60. But yeah. So once you plead guilty, your time already. Continue to call in. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us. Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. I don't know what to say.
What can you say? I mean, and again, what is the worst of the worst? We keep going through that.
So, I mean, what do you think he's trying to achieve by complaining about maximum security? That he would get sent to a different part of the prison? Yeah? My goodness.
You think you can try to escape?
What? Why would you say that? But, boy, okay. Let's take this call, and then we're going to move on. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
How are you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm here. I'm a little shaken.
I know, and again, I always thank you for helping us to digest some of these issues of the people. I think that's important. Hopefully, along the way, at some point, you get some thank you for it. But in terms of, you're asking what do we do or what to say. My question is, at what point are we as a people going to take some kind of collective action that says that we're not tolerating this anymore? And what is this? A woman loses her life, and the gentleman, based on the case details, which you read, 20 years. It's crazy, it's bananas, but the point that I'm making is that what point do we as a people say that this kind of punishment is not enough and we need stiffer penalties or more needs to be done? When do we as a people no longer depend on the leaders and the government, but we as a people take some action? Just saying,
I don't know if I like where you're going with this. What does that mean? Because that doesn't sound like that laws would be followed.
Well, when you say laws won't be followed, it's a matter of us. I think we have to demand more as a people. I believe stiffer penalties can be a deterrent, but if you have leaders thinking about the political fallout of stiffer penalties and then come back to the public and say, oh, well, where's the proof that will be a deterrent to crime? The amount of casualties that we're having on a daily basis, the magnitude of some of these instances. And so, we as a people have to become intentional in terms of our response. And until that happens, the can is going to keep getting kicked down the road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah. Wow. There's a few more text messages coming in on this. This person says, most of the people in jail are normal people who make very, very bad decisions. Which jail are you talking about? Here? Yeah? You sure? Okay. I was just about to say this guy is likely someone you would meet in your daily course of business, which is somewhat frightening, but it's true. A lot of crimes hinge on split-second, highly emotional bad decisions. Go to any workplace and listen to the violence and abuse that well-groomed and nicely dressed people dish out. They're an inch away from acting. Okay. Well, if you keep a gun on hand and put it in people's laps while you drive, yeah, that pushes you much closer to making a very bad decision. I think you already made one, right? Especially here, even if you had a license for that gun, putting it in someone's lap is a bit wacky when you're having an argument too.
I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to have even legal guns sitting in your front seat while you're driving.
I'm pretty sure you're not. And to do that while you're looking for trouble. And so, yeah, I don't know if just look, wrong place, wrong time. Nope. You set the time. You set the time and the place. Another text here. What's going on here? What is this text? Okay, this is very out of nowhere. And this person says, only in the Bahamas when these murderers get a light sentence, something really wrong with our justice system. This needs to be fixed right away. Well, again, if you feel that just because you plead guilty, you shouldn't get a plea deal, that you shouldn't get a third of the time off, then we need to say something, right, to the lawmakers. But they're grateful because they don't have to tie up court time and space. But if that's not good enough, we need to let it be. We're not accepting that anymore. At least 1/3 is too much. Maybe, I don't know. What do you think, Chester? 1/10? 1/5? But 1/3 is a whole lot.
1 day.
1 day? Oh, boy. Mm-hmm. This certainly adds some insight into the frustration of the honorable law enforcement officers. If they conducted proper investigations and found that this person was the perpetrator of the crime, why in the heck would a plea even be entertained? Well, again, you just heard what I said. They are happy when this happens because they don't have to have a trial. And we told you yesterday, there are cases that have been set for 2027. So we're in a bad place. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight and Chester. How are you?
Doing well. Good morning.
Just calling to kind of reiterate the sentiments of the last caller. I think the public should voice their either disappointment or their with the status that tougher penalties may not be a deterrent. There are places you can go where let's talk about Asia. There are places you will get 30 years for graffiti. You know what happens? No one does graffiti. So I think the notion that the minister and the persons who are responsible for safety, our safety, have to make us feel a little more comfortable by saying, you know what, I don't know if it may work, but let's try it, because I think the public deserves to feel safe and to feel like there are measures being taken to make us safe. And it's not just with policing. I believe the police are doing the best they can. And I think they're doing a good job. But what happens when you apprehend somebody? What happens when you bring them before the court? And I dare say, like Chester said, you're coming out of jail at 50 years old. That's a young man in our society. That's not an old man. And do we know that the individual and persons like him would be reformed enough that he don't get another girlfriend and decide that he's driving in a car with a loaded gun and shoots her and then wants to take her out of her misery, allegedly, and shoot her in the head? That's heinous. So I think we need to look at that, and I think the public needs to speak out about what they clearly feel is something just beyond the pale. Thank you for taking my call.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And talk to your daughters, too, right? Can't be dating somebody who shot his girlfriend in the stomach, treated her with peroxide, and then put her out of her misery by shooting her in the head, no matter how much time he's had to think about that. Right? Or do we believe people really can change? Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Dwight, good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning to Chester. Permit me to ask what probably might be the obvious question here. He inflicted an initial harm on his girlfriend and then came to the conclusion that she was suffering from the initial harm, and then shot her in the head, and then dispose of the body
in the canal.
In a canal. The obvious question for me is our justice system, as I understand it, has been attempting to define what is the worst of the worst in an effort to arrive at what we have been asking for is affording capital punishment to certain types of murder.
All right, so I'm going to stop you right there because already the fact that he pleaded guilty, that appears that would take that off the table. You see, and that's how wacky this thing is.
And that, to me, is the question to me at that legal conclusion when there seem to be so many other finer considerations that throws the whole process off in cases like this. And it tells me that something is wrong with our legal wording, our legal laws as it relates to how we classify and deal with these things. You cannot tell me that we should be held hostage as a society by words or definition when you can put in place necessary legislation that gets you where you need to go. To me, I've never heard of a crime of this kind in the Bahamas.
Sadly, they're worse. There are worse ones. But this is pretty awful.
In terms of putting someone out of, like acting as someone that comes back a second time and say, "Listen, you're suffering. I'm going to put you. I'm going to alleviate your suffering by shooting you in the head." But anyway, I agree with Mr. Ingram's concerns as he wrote in one of the days that we need to take a serious look at our legal system because it's broken. It's really broken, and if our politicians, our prime minister is an attorney, and he doesn't need a substantive amount of political collateral to address the laws. It's not the United States where we have the kind of Senate in the House, et cetera, et cetera. The prime minister has substantive latitude to look closely at the law. He's an attorney and fix it. The system is broken. I leave when I say this. If now isn't the most crucial and critical time for Prime Minister Davis and his team of people to immediately begin the process of real reform in law. It's more important than climate change right now. It's more important than balancing the budget. Law reform in this country is one of the most crucial things that we can look at right now. Because the other day I asked for a tow truck to come and move a car that was sitting in an illegally parked spot on Sunday Pass. And the car sat in the spot for a total of almost 9 hours. Walked to the police station. The police in charge of the station told me that he was given instruction that they're not allowed to tow cars.
Oh.
The senior police officer from the embassy came over later into the afternoon, looked at the matter, attempted to address it. He left and left that car there until the driver of his own will came to move the car out of the illegally parked spot.
Wow.
We have a broken system, Dwight.
Wow.
Have a good day.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. That's really interesting. We have here Erin Green saying it all the time on her show that it appears the police have been directed to pay very little attention to traffic matters. I don't know if that's accurate. I'm not sure. But sometimes you have to wonder. You do have to wonder. And maybe it's a focus on crimes against a person and not what they must think are trivial matters. But we know, we can see it. Once you feel you can get away with those things, you will feel very happy, comfortable driving around with your gun in the front seat and maybe on somebody's lap. This texter says here, how many times am I going to say this? I don't know who you are, texter. Anyway, long sentences are not benefiting defense lawyers who run the country. Sense to have guys in and out of jail and in need of legal services. Crime is big business. Why we continue to act brand new like we don't know it. Okay. So we're just going to be here waiting to be a victim. That's just how it is. Okay. Wow. My heart goes out to the family of the young lady, but please echo this to young ladies out there. Stop getting involved with these D-average, so-called bad men. It's 90% chance they end up on the wrong side of the law. Okay, I hear you. But again, this guy claims that he had previously held a supervisory role in customer service. Which company was that? And he he was interested in learning a trade. So it could be anyone. It could be anyone. I'm sure there are highly people out there who've been involved in horrible situations as well. So that has nothing to do with it. It's just your way of thinking and what you've been allowed to get away with from people and the police in your life. So, yeah. Oh boy, not saying wrong place, wrong time. I'm saying we're in an environment of normalized violence that can turn bad very quickly. This is the person who said, okay, most of the people in prison are good. An example of that is road rage. The seed of violence didn't appear in that moment. It's been there waiting for an opportunity. Remember the group of young men who killed a 60-year-old man after a car accident. Which one was that? This man beating his child with a broomstick is an example too. He's going far. He's stretching. Okay. This person says that we need foreigners to run this country or bring back the British. I'd rather be under British rule right now. Well, you can. How about you do that? And write us and let us know how it goes for you. We just need sensible people who are willing to obey the laws that we have and to be serious about it.
And we need to enforce the ones we have, like you're always saying.
Yeah.
Like, seriously enforce them.
Seriously. That's all. Not foreigners. We can do this. We can do it, but it seems like we're not as serious as we used to be. That's putting it mildly. A few more calls before we have to take a break. Good morning, caller, you're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight and Chester.
Hi, good morning.
Pleasant good morning. So, Dwight, in the article, does it say anything about any circumstances where the Attorney General or the prosecutor attempted to justify to the public with our crime crisis why a deal would have even been extended to this individual?
Because he pleaded guilty. They've been telling us that now. Once you plead guilty, you've helped them. You've helped us out. We don't have to set dates and get courtrooms and stenographers and all this stuff. You pleaded guilty. Thank you very much.
Dwight, why is that even remotely acceptable? Because if law enforcement does the job as a former police officer, submit documentation, arrest the suspect, put them before the courts, right? And why is it acceptable for us to not hear even the circumstances? Not that it would matter that the gentleman was a businessman, he picked her up from work, had his gun after he secured his property, which are legally allowed to do. What are the circumstances that they would even consider extending a deal for such a heinous crime?
Because he pleaded guilty.
So, question for you and Chester, do you guys really think that that's acceptable?
I just asked, I said it. I said, we need to decide whether we think that a third, this is what they keep telling us, you get a third of the time off automatically once you plead guilty.
Then what is the point in the paying police officers then to go ahead and investigate crimes from the public purse, pay prosecutors, and even pay judges? Because do our judges or magistrates have the authority to refuse a plea deal?
I'm not sure.
This isn't acceptable, man.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't, Dwight. Mm-hmm. And it just sends a message to people out there that feel that it's okay to take somebody's life regardless of the circumstances. I could get a slap on the wrist. Thanks for taking my call, Dwight.
Hey, I hear you. I understand the frustration.
The thing is, you're talking about pleading guilty, and if you get a third off for life, if you get a life sentence, which I think this should have been, if you get a third off of that, what is that? I don't know, but you see the point. Mm-hmm. The penalties need to be stiffer so that we don't think 20 years for murder, for leaving somebody suffering, and then claiming euthanasia was the next best option. No, 20 years.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of this story that one can't sensibly, right? It makes so little sense.
No, so I think the story makes it worse.
Yeah.
Even if it didn't go down that way.
Yeah.
And so if that's your story, hey, I think that's terrible. Life.
Right. But again, we're such in a desperate state with court cases set for 2027, 2028 probably already, that anybody that spares you some effort will get rewarded. And that's what this looks like, feels like. You know, and again, good luck. What the heck is that? What is that? One more call. We got to take a break. Good morning, caller on the air.
Dwight, again, thank you for taking my call, Dwight. The challenge that I have is the conundrum we find ourselves in. And I call it a conundrum because on one end, we have these incidents that happen that we seem to have no control over. The amount of instances that happen in terms of the murder rate that we seem to highlight every year. On the other end, on the apprehension side, we may be challenged when it comes to the reports of the numbers in terms of the amount of cases that the police are able to bring some resolve to. On the other hand, we're challenged with the judiciary part of it now in terms of the dates, like you're mentioning here. But on the other hand, again, we're challenged with the consequences in terms of after you do get to go to court. Again, at what point do we as a people, Dwight, get a break? Now, Dwight, another incident in terms of our system that I'd love for you at some point one morning to take the time with that I'm guaranteed everybody can call in. This system where when you pay a court fine or fee, in particular road traffic tickets, this system repeatedly pay for the same tickets and the same warrants showing up in the system over and over and over. That's a topic for another morning, but that's something I think needs to be looked in on behalf of the general public.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Let's see if we can squeeze this call in. Yeah. Let's do that. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Chester. Good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Thanks for squeezing this call in. Listen to all of the comments this morning from the general public. And, you know, it really appears that the Bahamian people are paying attention to what's really going on in this country and, in fact, offer possible solutions to many of the issues that we have. But, you know, it seems as if it falls on deaf ears. One thing that we are missing, we are, as a people, missing out of this whole ordeal, and that is vigilante justice. You know, we let these guys back out. We let these persons back out. You know, you're saying you're not wasting the court time and everything, but remember now, these are these persons who are murdered or suspected to be murderers. They're murdered. They're actually individual of other families. You don't know how these other families are going to react to these incidents snuffed out. Whether you feel as if that person, because of the injury, just take them out of their pain or not. These individuals are persons and loved ones of other families. And, you know, crime is big business in this country. We all know it. And we know that the police officers out there are putting their lives on the line. Not all the time you hear about, oh, well, you know, they didn't do due diligence. They didn't cross all the T's and dot all the I's. That's not the case. The thing is, when you have persons who are able to defend some of these persons, especially if you're a well-known attorney or whatever, then it adds that credence in the minds of individuals that this person is going to get off plea deal or no plea deal. And we have to fix this system. The system itself needs to be addressed. You need the harshest penalties for a lot of these things. We need to enact them. And just as you so rightfully said, and I'll close on this point, it isn't the matter that we don't have the laws, but do we have the willpower to exercise the extreme essence of the law to bring justice to a lot of these people? Until we get there, we'll be like this hamster spinning, running around the spinning wheel, going nowhere fast. We have to fix the systems. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks a lot. This person says it's clear the Bahamas is the home of murder, rape, drug smuggling, and corruption. Tell me I'm lying. Oh, boy. We got to go to the break. This is Morning Blend.
I swear the way you blow my mind should be alone. Blue lights, red lights, we gon' get real hot tonight. Blue lights, red lights, with you. Anything that feels this good, well it must be illegal. It must be illegal.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
It's time for your first look at traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. With RBC, reaching your goals happens here. In your real-time traffic, we've got a number of hot spots to tell you about. Some of them the usual suspects. We've got Prince Charles Drive into Robinson Road. You're going to be seeing heavy traffic at a number of spots near Elizabeth Estates, but especially as you get closer to Beatrice Avenue and then west of Beatrice Avenue if you're heading westbound. Into Robinson Road all the way up to Marathon East-West Highway. Heavy traffic, especially once you get nearer to Old Trail. Your alternate routes like Bernard Road and Eastern Road also busy, especially Eastern Road from from Sans Souci straight up to Johnson Road if you're heading westbound. Then we've got Blue Hill Road near Carmichael, seeing some heavy traffic there. And then again north of Soldier Road all the way to the roundabout with Independence Drive right now, seeing some slow-moving traffic there and traffic back to westbound on Independence Drive. Soldier Road intersection on East Street, you're going to be seeing some slow-moving northbound traffic. And then we've got Milo Butler Highway. Heavy traffic from about Alexandria Road, Hampster Road, all the way up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway, especially once you get north of the Fire Trail roundabout. Gladstone Road also busy for you north of Fire Trail, straight up to John F. Kennedy Drive. Those are your hotspots right now. We'll have another update for you after the 8 o'clock news. Morning Blend Traffic brought to you by RBC. With RBC, your ideas happen here. And time for another check of your weather brought to you by Star General. We've got a near gale watch in effect across the central and southeast Bahamas, with a near gale warning coming into effect by tonight. So this strengthening ridge of high pressure in the Atlantic is continuing to produce moderate to fresh winds across the islands of the Bahamas, and that's bringing adverse marine conditions. Broad, high pressure ridging will support breezy to windy conditions, hazardous easterly swells, and isolated quick passing showers into Saturday. Then Sunday, winds and seas will subside a bit as the ridge weakens and retracts eastward into the Atlantic. Early into next week, a cold front is expected to bring some enhanced shower activity for the northern and northwest Bahamas as that front moves off the southeast coast of Florida. But for now, due to persistent dry conditions and brisk winds, everyone's being advised to refrain from burning trash or to properly discard glass, cigarettes, and other flammable materials as we try to mitigate the risk of bushfires and brush fires. Beachgoers also being advised to stay out of shorelines as well as Atlantic beaches due to the elevated risk of dangerous rip currents. For today, you're looking at a very warm day in the forecast, partly sunny, turning mostly fair tonight, highs in the 80s, near 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 73 Fahrenheit. And as a result of this, we've got a high UV index expected today. So sunscreen if you're going to be out in the sun for extended periods. In your extended outlook for Thursday, tomorrow, mostly sunny, less than a 10% chance of showers. A mix of sun and clouds by Friday, and a similar pattern for Saturday into Sunday. Some changes coming early in the new week. We'll tell you more about that tomorrow. But that's your Morning Blend weather check brought to you by Star General Insurance Made Simple.
April, Duncan is spreading awareness and support for autism awareness. Did you know that autism affects 1 in 54 children? It is so important to show our support, and you can show your support by grabbing a signature blue donut from during April. Join us in raising awareness and support for REACH and the Seahorse Institute. Duncan, fueling communities one blue donut at a time. The Bahamas runs on Duncan.
Welcome to Beauty Boutique. It's 20% off cash purchases today.
This fits perfectly. So does this, but I don't have enough cash.
Are you a CIBC Caribbean client?
I sure am.
Well, just first pay me.
Now we're talking. Can I try these shoes too?
For quick transfer with just an email, mobile number, or QR code, use First Pay from CIBC Caribbean. Visit CIBCCaribbean.com/ways to bank for more information.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Now let me see now. 326 ETIC. Hello? This Epic Eckert battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4.
And he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326-EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
As a healthcare professional, you dedicate your life to caring for others. But even with the best care, legal challenges can arise. Protect your practice and your peace of mind with medical malpractice insurance from Star General. At Star General, we've partnered with Lloyd's of London to bring you comprehensive professional liability insurance designed specifically for those consulting or practicing privately. Visit our website today so you can focus on what you do best, caring for your patients, while we take care of the rest. Star General, insurance made simple.
I've been up at Pinda and I meet him in the showroom. I said, Pinda, I just come out of a showroom in Portugal and let me tell you something, them showroom and selection ain't got nothing on yours. Man, I like this stock of porcelain and ceramic tile you got here. What I really like is the range of sizes that come in. 8 by 48, 12 by 24, 24 by 24. And what I really like more than the things I really like is the price. From $275 a square foot to $494 a square foot and all in between. You can't beat that. Not even with a 2x4 from Enterprises.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and print, large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the know-how team at 396-1101.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Lock me up 'cause I've been bad and I know I'll do it again. You're the best I ever had, I'm guilty, I confess. Blue lights, red lights, we gon' get real out tonight. Blue lights, red lights, with you.
We're going to go to the news in a second. Just want to read these messages as we go. This person says here, Chester, let me get my head on. Stray murderers are going unpunished. When police cars with lights are on, rushing through blocked traffic while seeing cars making their own roads, including through people's front yards, really, and the police are doing nothing. Can you expect justice? Don't go down the road of police vehicles being used to drop off family and... Okay. What if that 20-year sentence was on one of our isolated 700 islands where convicted criminals grow their own food? Texture, what's going on? What's wrong with you? Grow their own food, make their own clothes and shoes, and were made to engage in trades that contribute to society. I mean, is it in a prison, or are you just saying they have huts on the beach? What are you saying? I don't understand. And this person says here, oh, this is back to our person who wants the British to come back. Okay. We got more news to talk about when we get back after the news here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Your final look at weather brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Here's what's happening. We've got a near gale watch in effect for the central and southeast Bahamas and a near gale warning coming into effect tonight. We've got a strengthening ridge of high pressure centered in the Atlantic. That's going to continue to produce moderate to fresh winds, and that's going to mean adverse marine conditions. So a broad high pressure ridging is going to support breezy to windy conditions and the hazardous easterly swells, along with quick passing showers through Saturday. By Sunday, winds and seas will subside as the ridge will weaken and move further into the Atlantic. Early in the new week, though, a cold front's expected to bring some enhanced shower and thunderstorm chances for the northern and northwest Bahamas. But for now, we are seeing the persistent dry conditions and brisk winds, and so that means the brush fire risk is still high. So everyone's being advised to refrain from burning trash or to properly discard of glass, cigarettes, and other flammable materials. Beachgoers are also being advised to stay out of the waters of the eastern and southern shorelines of the islands, as well as Atlantic beaches, due to the elevated risk of rip currents and possible rough surf. We're looking at a hot day today, partly sunny, turning mostly fair tonight, but highs around 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. And the UV index expected to be pretty high today. So wear sunscreen if you're going to be out in the sun for prolonged periods. In your extended outlook, by tomorrow, Thursday, should be mostly sunny and a mix of sun and clouds Friday into Saturday and Sunday as well. But partly cloudy to cloudy by Monday for the northern and northwest Bahamas as that front moves through, and we'll see an increase in the chance of showers by Tuesday. That's your morning blend weather check brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. Walls looking a little owl? Well, swing by Sherwin-Williams Paints for a fresh coat of wow. Best customer service, bold colors, and bargain prices. They've got it all. Sherwin-Williams, let's roll. And your final look at traffic brought to you by RBC. With RBC, reaching your goals happens here. All right, in your real-time traffic, got heavy traffic on Independence Drive, both directions at this hour between the roundabouts at East Street and Blue Hill Road. So east and westbound, you're going to see that. Your alternate routes might be a better option, like Robinson Road or Soldier Road, but Soldier's going to be busy for you as you get closer to the intersections with East Street and Blue Hill Road. So keep that in mind. Milo Butler Highway, still heavy traffic from Fire Trail all the way up to Tawny Williams Darling Highway, and that's going to pick up again for you if you're heading northbound as you get closer to the six-legged roundabout. Gladstone Road also still busy just north of Fire Trail on the way to John F. Kennedy Drive. And we are seeing some heavy traffic on West Bay Street heading into downtown, just east of Arawak Key near Nassau Street. Downtown looking busy for you as well. Shirley Street into Duke Street, heavy westbound traffic. Blue Hill Road is busy for you there if you're heading northbound. And some slow-moving traffic on Bay Street. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. With RBC, your ideas happen here.
In my heart, make your day brighter. A sweet, simple song you can sing will make you feel better. There may be clouds in the sky, and some days the rain won't subside. But one day the skies will be blue.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. And it's that time again. The IBS Build-A-Bridge Challenge is back. Here to tell us all about this, we are very pleased to have with us LaCorey Noel and Jared Nurse. Good morning. Great to have you with us. You're from Integrated Business Solutions. Good to see you. Good morning. Let's get a little closer to the mic there. What year are we in now with the Build-A-Bridge Challenge? Let's get there. Hold on. Let's get all the mics up. There we go. Okay.
Okay. We are in our 15th year
Wow.
of hosting the Build-A-Bridge Challenge.
Yeah, that's amazing. This is a great thing. For those who aren't familiar, let people know what this is all about.
So this is a competition that we have for all of the high school students throughout the Bahamas. So whether you're private or government school students, specifically grade 10 to 12 that are interested in engineering or STEM-related field, where you will build a bridge using popsicle sticks and school glue.
Yeah. And you were telling us off here, both of you were in this as high schoolers.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's talk about that, those experiences, then we'll get to what we need to know about this year.
No problem.
Mhm.
So
Sorry,
I would
Corey.
have been in the year 2018 in that year that went on, and it was an all
school were
girls
you
team with Anatole Raw Design.
Okay, yeah, we heard about those.
Yeah. So
How did you all do?
we did very well. We had, I think, our bridge held over 200 pounds.
So what now?
Yep.
he's like
200 pounds.
That's a weak bridge.
Over 200 pounds. It was an all-female team, like I
Oh,
mentioned. So all of us were very interested in STEM or STEM-related field. And so that year, I think we broke 2 records. So being an all-girls team, winning.
Did you win the overall competition?
Yes, we won the overall competition. The load competition is like the main part of the segment of the competition. So
What else is there?
the aesthetics.
Aesthetics, right?
Yes. So you
So you-
build a bridge for pretty, and then you build a bridge for load.
And then you wreck it.
And you rack it.
Nice.
That's
So-
great.
So tell us how, like, what span do you put it over, and do you hang the load from the center, or how does that work?
So the bridge is built for a 26-inch length. It has to cover a 24-inch span distance. And typically we will hang the load from the middle. One of the requirements we have is having a 3x3 square in the middle. That's where we're actually going to hang the load from. And we're just going to keep loading up the bucket until that eventually gives way.
So you have a hole in the bridge. But I mean, you're talking about school glue and popsicle sticks.
Yeah.
200 pounds?
Let's set the record straight. I currently still hold the record. Most weight.
And you told us the last time we heard that you took part. Which school were you with?
Yes.
What year was it?
I was with the Big Red Machines and it's college.
Oh boy.
Let's keep C-Boy over here talking foolishness when we're on the radio.
Oh my. What year was that?
So I actually snuck into the competition my first year. So we are doing it from 10 to 12, but I was just so interested in the competition. I actually tried sneaking in grade 9.
Oh, you're like one of these 6-year-olds on jet skis, right? Okay.
Stop. But yeah, in it officially from 10 to 12 and winning the last 2 years in grade 11 and in grade 12. So that would have been 2016 and 2017.
SAC won both of those.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And so what weight did you have?
The heaviest weight we did, what was it again? 280 something?
He asking you like
Much. It was 250 pounds.
Wow. But there's a school that has the most wins. Is that right? It was Anatole, right? Because we had them on a number of times, and they
there's still a healthy competition between y'all two.
Yes.
huh?
Yes.
Just
yes.
saying.
Much alive.
We're taking it a little step further. This year, we decided to go head to head, just me and her. Let's see who can build a better.
Oh, you all are gonna do your own? Really? Oh wow.
Oh, bridge.
Oh wow.
Y'all don't prank each other in the office.
And this is important because you both ended up working for IBS, and you're both civil engineers. Is that
Yeah,
right?
correct.
Tell us about this. So you had that interest from high school, and you stuck with it. What has that journey been like? LaCorey, you start.
So that journey has been, for me, it was supposed to be a 2-month internship at IBS.
Wow.
And as Nick would put it, my boss,
This is
he
Nick
would
Dean.
say, Nick Dean, he would say, I'm the person on the couch that never Like 2 months. The guy on the couch. The 2-month internship turned into my employment today.
That's
So
amazing.
I'm still employed at IBS. I'm currently working on my studies of completing my engineering degree.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's been a pretty great journey ever since.
That is
What are you doing your degree?
Embry-Riddle.
Oh, okay.
university.
Excellent. And Jared, tell us about you.
Similar story. Did competition from grade 11 to grade 12, and I got the internship. And just every single year, I kept going back to IBS saying like, "Hey, do you guys need an intern this year?" Even when I was coming back home from college during the summer breaks, like same thing. And eventually led to me just having a job. So it all started from that Build-A-Bridge competition.
That is pretty cool.
Where did you go to school?
I went to Florida Polytechnic University.
Cool.
Okay. So who's the reigning champion?
Right now, I think it's Anatol.
Anatol. So how many wins has Anatol had?
I think we're up to between 5 or 6,
Wow.
if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
A third.
That a whole third of
Yeah,
the competition.
of the competition.
Anatol.
Back to back.
That's
year after
excellent.
year.
Excellent stuff.
Wow.
All right. So when is this year's Build-A-Bridge challenge?
So this year's Build-A-Bridge challenge is happening this Friday.
Friday.
Yeah.
Okay.
This Friday, it's going to be at the Holy Trinity Church. And yeah, anyone that's interested, feel free to come on by. We're going to have a couple of vendors out there as well, just to have a bit of entertainment for the high schoolers. And until we get to the main show where we test the bridges.
Yeah. How many schools are taking part?
So this year we have over 15 schools.
Wow.
Yep. So about 17 schools, I think, exact, is participating in the competition.
But is this whittled down from a higher number of schools that participated in some like preliminary thing, or?
No. This is
Okay.
open to every
Right.
school.
Okay.
So any school that wants to participate will reach out. If you guys are interested, put together a team. Come on down, show us what you got.
You mentioned Family Island. Does they show up
Yep,
as
we
well?
have a few schools from the Family Island that participate each year faithfully, and they win the aesthetic bridge competition.
Oh,
And that
nice.
bridges are very beautiful, I must say.
Yeah.
People don't care for that part of the competition, but I give credit to it.
Yeah.
You mean it's typical that a Family Island school wins aesthetic?
Yes.
It's interesting.
What do you think that's about?
Yeah.
They just love a pretty bridge.
All right. Do you know what they want? Do you know the names of the schools this year? Am I putting you on the spot? Can you list off all, or is
There's
it
a
is
lot.
it a
I
lot?
know for
There's a-
sure it's on its own.
Yeah. Well.
So most of the government schools in Nassau Fisher, Sweeting, Doris Johnson, the like, private schools, SAC, QC, and the like.
Yeah.
I think we might have a school from Freeport, if I'm not mistaken. Andress, North Eleuthera, somewhere around
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So do the groups of people who take on the challenge come from individuals in a school that get together and want to do this, or is it usually a club that is from the school that's participating?
It could be a mix of both. For me, at least, I was in a pre-engineering major set of classes, so I was told or informed about the competition being in a pre-engineering class, and then we had a club on the side that we dedicate time to designing our bridge, testing the bridges, etc. And that is kind of one process. So between clubs or being in an engineering class.
What do they do at SAC?
At SAC, it's more so club structured. It was started, actually my sister was the one who started the club with Professor Green at St. Augustine's College. And so, yeah, we mostly have a club, and then we just kind of reach out into the math, physics classes, see who's interested. If you're interested, hey, let's put one together.
Yeah.
Mr. Green taught me physics.
Oh boy. All right. So what advice would you give to teams right now as they get ready for Friday?
Yeah, I hope your bridge is already constructed. But just do the best you can, put your best foot forward. If that bridge that you tested and you trusted, just bring that same bridge out. Keep your spirits high, and hopefully things may go in your favor.
Yeah. How do you guard against somebody using like wood cement or something?
We have tests.
You
for them.
test,
We
okay.
test for
Yeah, you could tell when a team has not used school glue. It's very obvious. Wood glue dries a certain way. Other types of glues dry a certain way, and we tell them that you can coat the bridge or you can paint it, so that we can make sure
Be
we
able
can
to see.
expect to see which glue is used.
Yeah.
And typically, how many popsicle sticks does a bridge? I mean, I'm sure it varies, but
it varies. And so this year we're actually limiting it to 100 sticks. I believe last year was 125. So just to make sure no teams reuse the exact same design, keep it a little bit interesting, we're changing up the numbers.
Oh wow. Okay.
Makes it more difficult.
That's pretty cool. All right. So what time is all the action going down? Like what time should people be out there if they want to see this?
Let's give them a range of 10 to 1.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
So
so,
the kids will take lunch, I think, at 12. So if we haven't already started breaking some bridges before lunch, we definitely continue that trend after lunch.
yeah. Wow. All
Is that
right.
the main attraction?
The main attraction is mainly.
Yeah.
Others may beg to differ.
So each school submits 2 different bridges.
No,
or
just
you
one
only
singular bridge. So
so you still judge the one that's going to be broken
yeah,
by how it looks.
by how it
Yeah.
looks. Mhm.
Okay. This is pretty cool. Yeah.
And are you guys judges?
I'm an inspector for the bridge.
Oh, you're bridge inspector, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be one of the loaders. I'm the one.
You're
that-
bridge
gonna break it.
condemner.
Yeah.
And then what do the winners get? Once if you win, if Anatol does it again, or Sack, what happens?
So we have kind of like a series of prizes for first, second, third place, and we also have a prize for the aesthetic competition. If you want to know exactly what those prizes are, you got to come down to see.
Okay, all right.
Mhm.
Again,
And in addition to the prize, like we said before, the winning team, one team member will be awarded a 2-month internship at IBS for the summer.
So does it have to look like a bridge? Like the walkway, roadway area, should that have no gaps and that kind of stuff? Like how's it
No,
supposed to?
So because we are limiting them in the amount of sticks that you
Right.
can use, it's a very, I would say, simple structure. So
Okay.
you have your floor beams, you
Right.
have your truss, your top, some sway bracing, and etc.
Right.
Just try to fit all of that within 100.
Yeah.
Don't go over.
Wow. And any advice to future engineers, in general, based on what you've learned, in high school and now working at IBS? What would you say to youngsters out there thinking, I wonder if this is for me?
Fall in love with math.
Math?
Fall in love with math.
That's why I could never have done it. Yeah, you say that too, LaCorey?
I just say keep on trying. Even if you feel like it's hard, just keep going. You'd find something that sticks. It's a continuous learning process. So you might not be good at it one day, and then if you keep building or training towards it, you'll be better.
Yeah. Wow.
If popsicle sticks and school glue can hold on, so can you.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. So we hope we can have the winners on once you after Friday. So let's see if we can do that. But thank you for being here this morning. Again, it's going to be at the Holy Trinity Activity Centre, and that's Friday, 10 and on.
Yeah,
and anybody can show up to look at
It's
this.
like 8:39, but 10 to after until 3 p.m. is when competition will be going on.
Okay, well, going to be exciting. Corey Noel and Jared Nurse, thank you so much here from IBS and the Build-A-Bridge Challenge this Friday. Appreciate it. Good luck to everybody taking part in it this year. All right, let's take a break for news, and then we'll be back with Morning Blend Business in just a bit. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. And this morning, our guests are from Executive Business Solutions, celebrating a big milestone. And they're going to tell us about their business and a whole lot more. Very pleased to have with us partner Felicia Pizard. We have senior accountant Lanique Roll. And we have junior accountant Vardo McKenzie. Great to have you all with us. Good morning.
Great to be here, Dwight. Great to be here. Thank you so much for having us.
It's our pleasure, our pleasure. Yeah. Tell us about Executive Business Solutions. Sure. This is an anniversary you're celebrating.
Yeah, so we're celebrating 10 years
wow, okay.
Being in business in the Bahamian economy. So we're excited about that. And what we do, we particularly focus on 3 areas. So we focus on accounting, business consulting, and administration. So from an accounting perspective, we deal with all of the financial statements. In the accounting world, we call it compilations. Mm-hmm. So we compile those financial statements and we do reviews. So for those of us who are over that 250,000 mark in turnover, mm-hmm. where DIR requires a reviewed statement, we do those. And then into the business consulting end, we do all of your business planning. So if you're heading into a new business, it's always advised that you have a full-fledged business plan. And then, of course, if you're already in business, we look at your strategic plans. So, heading into a new year, we're in the second quarter now. What do you want to achieve for your business within that space of time? And the final leg is our admin services. So that's your VAT filing and billings, etc. So we're very honored and blessed by God to be here after 10 years and going strong.
Yeah. Wow. That's a lot of different things that you're doing there.
Yes.
I'm sure over the 10 years, things have changed quite a bit.
Yes, it was much wider at the beginning. You're not sure, what exactly, because it's hard to do true market research in the Caribbean.
Oh, yeah.
So, you start out with a big list of things and then it narrows. So it's now down to 3 pointed areas, and we're so excited. Every day we head into the office with the same passion, I hope, and these younger ones will tell us more. But it's just excited to be in the space and be able to whether work from home or head to the office, quite flexible.
Yeah. Well, things have changed quite a bit in terms of what businesses are required to do.
Yeah. Yes.
So I'm sure that has brought you lots of
handhold
yes
our businesses to the end. So from the incubator stage to way up to actual execution. All right. And of course, if DIR comes with requirements, etc., we look at whatever the acts say and get it done.
In some cases, new government changes have given you some legs up. In some cases, I hope.
Well, we always look at the glass half full.
Yeah.
And so whatever it is, we look at it, we interpret it, and we consult out if it's not within our scope. And of course, we ensure that we understand whatever the new requirements are so that we can handhold our business owners. Because our mantra is, look, you do what you do best. Let us do the rest for you from a business aspect.
Yeah. Wow. So what are the sizes of the business you're seeing? Are you seeing more mom and pops coming forward too?
Sure. Yeah. So those, because gone are the days when you're just able to do business without having proper records.
Right.
So we've seen, quite a increase in different levels of financials. Yeah. But today, what we wanted to do, we're a company that gives back. So we wanted to just say thank you, first of all. And of course, if there are any business questions, of course, we would have to put the disclaimer. But just wanted to really touch the Bahamian SME space and say thank you for your support over these 10 years. 10 years, in business, they say those first 5 years, it's shaky, you try to find yourself, etc. But 10 years, I think we're in a good space. And we are absolutely grateful to the Bahamian economy.
Yeah. All right, so I want to talk about this. So we know, as you mentioned, DIR, the requirements that people are having now, and you heard a few years back companies almost grumbling, like, oh, now I have to find an accountant. Now I have to do this, which you could do your simple bookkeeping before.
Yes.
Let's talk about the shift in thinking and what difference that's made.
First of all, nobody was doing simple bookkeeping.
No,
Let me just correct you there.
What were they doing?
Napkins? I don't know.
Oh, it wasn't even that
Counting fingers?
sophisticated?
I don't know what they were doing.
It wasn't even that. Okay, so things have really changed a lot.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the mentality of people who've gotten on board with this. Are they comfortable now?
Sure.
Or what are you seeing?
Sure. Well, the clients that we have on our books are pretty comfortable with, adapting to change and doing things which will keep them out of trouble. Because, of course, for us, if you don't want to do it how it's stipulated, then we don't want you. Right? It's simple and straight. We're too pretty to go to Fox Hill. So that's what we say to the clients. Listen, these are the rules that we need to follow. Are you going to follow it with us, or
Do you get resistance?
Of course, for the not the ones that remain.
Yeah,
but if you say, well, this is what I have, I'm not sure where the bank account. Listen, this is what has happened. Now let's change a new page. Right. You need to structure your accounts in this way. Here's how we do it, and then we have compliance. Because this is it, or find the next account.
Yeah.
Maybe this is what Dwight was getting at, but as the changes came around over the few years from DIR, et cetera, did you see people run into you asking for at least advice, if not ending up with services, saying, I have no idea what I'm doing, or what these people are asking me for?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Lanique, I see you nodding. As a senior accountant, tell us more about that. Pull the mic a little closer to you there.
Good morning, everyone. So this is year 4 for me at EBS. I started in 2021 going into my 3rd year at UB. I recently graduated last year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So working with EBS has been a tremendous help in my accounting degree. As I was in school, I would tell persons having hands-on experience is one of the best teachers, because working at EBS has helped me in my actual degree. I felt like I learned more. No offense to any of my professors, but I felt like I learned more working in accounts than actually learning it. So as I worked, it made schooling much easier for me. So the transition from being a college graduate, a university graduate, to now fully working, it has been a pleasure. So we're at 10 years, but I'm only 4 years in, but 4 years until I croak.
Well, nothing beats a practical experience at work, right?
Yeah.
So, that's good stuff there. And as a junior accountant, DeVardo, tell us about your role and how your journey's been going with EBS.
Well, I've been a junior accountant for about 2 years. I came in right after.
Let's even get you a little closer there.
Sorry, I have been a junior accountant for about 2 years. I came in right after finishing my degree at Galilee College, and I had little to no experience when it came to anything accounting, and I signed up with EBS one day when I was looking for an accounting job, and it's exceeded all my expectations. Like, I went from having little to no experience to being able to bookkeep, audit, run financials. Like, it's gone above and beyond, and I'm grateful for all the opportunities they gave me.
Yeah, excellent stuff going there. Now, how big is your staff? How many people are part of it?
Sure. So we have 7 full-time, and we have about 4 consultants.
All right. So to the companies out there who are afraid and might even be wary of letting another company come in to help them with accounts and business plans, what do you say to them? What advice would you say?
Sure. The Bahamas is blessed with amazing accountants. And, I sit on the board for BICA. Of course, I'm not representing them in this space, but the Bahamas is blessed with amazing accountants, especially those who are SMPs, small to medium-sized practitioners. Of course, EBS is just one of those, but if you are confused or with all of the changes, especially we just went down to 5% VAT in certain areas. You saw the amendments that came out, and of course, various areas. Find a qualified accountant. Make sure that they're listed on the BICA website as licensed accountants if you're looking for proper certification. Make sure that that's the first thing you do. And once you get yourself connected with a qualified accountant, of course, EBS would love to have you, but we're not the be it end it all. Then you follow their guidance. Make sure that you keep proper books and records. First and foremost, get yourself an accounting software. So whether that be Intuit, QuickBooks, or whatever software you have, make sure all of your transactions are booked in your software. Even being part of this business, you should be able to see a report every week, every month, what transactions took place, what are your expenses associated there, because you don't want to find yourself buying something for $150 and selling it for $50. Wow. Because a lot of businesses don't know where they stand and so end up feeling that cash flow pinch, and you wonder, okay, I can't pay it, I have to stretch, pay this bill then, pay that bill there. There are usually two main reasons for that. One being that you're not collecting your receivables on time. So a lot of persons or businesses owe your business. So you're struggling to get that cash flow. So that's the one reason you'll feel it tight, or you're not priced properly. So meaning that your pricing cannot take on the expenses, even from the cost perspective. So it's good every year, every few months, depending on your business, to do a full-fledged review of your pricing. How much am I paying to perform this service or to sell this good? How much am I paying for it? And not just the actual costs that you're seeing in front of you, but the costs associated with getting that to the saleable level.
Boy.
And once you do that, you may find, look, I'm really underpricing myself, or because some people just sell based on what the market is saying.
Right.
And that can run you. It's better to lay in your bed with some conch fritters, pull the cover over and stay under there and not go out and sell if you're selling for $80 and buying it for $150. Makes no sense.
Yeah.
So seriously, get yourselves organized.
Wow, that's some serious stuff, Felicia.
Full disclosure, I've sat down with them before, and they're the real deal when it comes to telling you exactly how it is.
Yeah.
Okay. But I want to ask you.
Don't go too far, because I want to follow up on that, because you mentioned the market.
It is on that. But do you find that when if somebody comes for accounting services and you sit down and you go, oh, you have a problem here, do you end up then helping them to restructure?
Absolutely.
Is that I'm sure it's an extra service, but I'm sure you see that.
So we do free consultation. So first 30 minutes, free. So because we don't want to quote you on something before we understand your problems, right? I wish my physician husband and everybody else would do that. Consult with you for free, and then he'll get me for this. But at the end of the day, once I would have consulted with you, I would then say, well, here are the things that I see, and here is how the scope of work that I would advise you on. Right. And as you know, I tell clients all the time, I'm not touching this business plan. This makes no financial sense to me. I'm not going to take your money, because at the end, this is 21/7 island. I'm not going to take your money and then it doesn't make sense. If you're doing foolishness, I'm going to tell you you're doing foolishness. If you want real change, you have real change.
She's going to tell you that.
She's going to tell you
that. Like privilege, eh? You can't confidentiality. Right. Okay, but Felicia, you said it. The market. Sometimes, there's a lot of competition.
Yes.
And some people are selling things dirt cheap. It's costing you a lot to bring this in, and if you sell it for the price they're selling it for, or you will die. What do you do if you're in that situation?
So the thing about it, consistency is the name of the game. So if you are look, you did your research, you did your markups, etc., and you realize the market is calling for this price of $100, but based on your costing and everything associated, you cannot sell under $125.
Wow.
You have to put it at your level that you're able to go over break even. If you do that and you're able to consistently deliver not only the product but service, customer service, etc., the market, we love that. There's in the Bahamian economy, there is the Bahamian market trends, and then there's the textbook. We're different from what the textbook says.
Yikes.
We will pay your price if you give us good service. If you give us good service, we'll pay it. Don't be afraid to, of course, you're not going to go way over market or way over your costs.
No, right.
Your cost is the game. Of course, you look at the market to see how you gauge it, but the cost is your game. Be consistent in your delivery. Be consistent in your pricing, and the market will follow. And those who are undercutting, the market will also deal with them. Over time, consistency, unless it's washing of.
Can you sit down and talk to a client and pinpoint that customer service might be their problem?
Absolutely.
And,
Because
you deal with that stuff too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So mystery shopping, etc.
Oh, you do that as well?
Yeah. So
Awesome.
if it's part of the business strategy development,
Right.
and the client says, well, the financials look good, this looks good, but Felicia, why is it that this is not? So we're going to say, Lanique may go and just observe.
Yeah.
And then she'd come back and say, Fee, because they call me Fee. We're very laid back office, talk a lot of nonsense on the office. But when they don't do their books well, Fee grows, But yeah, just go in and see what's going on, because it might be that the people you have working for you, albeit lovely folks, are not doing your business justice. And you're out there paying bills and doing all this stuff, and then they're, doing not very good service.
How often is that the case?
A lot.
Yeah.
I would say, so that 50-50 split.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. My goodness, we are having a great conversation with EBS, Executive Business Solutions. I'm sure business people have questions. We can take some calls. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. We're talking with Felicia Bizard and DeVardo McKenzie and Lanique Roll. So let's talk more about the business consultations that you do. Some of the weirdest requests you've had, maybe, and what a typical request is like.
Sure. So listen, we don't look at any form of business as weird or strange. I mean, we've seen real unique things. I like to say unique because if entrepreneurs in the Bahamas are phenomenal. The ideas that you get are amazing ideas. So we look at it as an opportunity to understand what these entrepreneurs are looking to achieve, and then we get it done. So, whether it be a submarine boating situation or whatever, the sky's the limit, or whatever it is, or selling of supplements, etc. We listen. The key is listening to the genius in the person of the entrepreneur, listening to their ideas, and then helping them to structure those ideas. Because we all wake up with beautiful things that we believe going to make us millions, right? But listening and then giving advice. If it's not going to work right now, then say, you know what? Hold up on that. Keep your 9 to 5 just a little longer. Let's see how we can develop it. Or keep your 9 to 5 and work that business.
Yeah.
And once it starts demanding more time, then, pivot out.
With the way things are happening, you're looking at the things the U.S. are doing right now. Are businesses getting nervous? Should they get nervous about what might transpire? Talking about tariffs, just changes in immigration, that kind of stuff.
Sure. The great thing about being in the Bahamas is that we will always be strategically positioned. We should not just sit on that thought, but we are strategically positioned. And we need to work on that. So while the world is in uproar, etc., and we're a Christian nation, every single day I believe that a miracle is going to happen today. This is my day for a miracle. That's what my Christianity and dictates. But so while yes, things are happening out there, I think this is the time for businesses to really, put the band around their waist, anchor it, and hold on. It's going to change, right? It's not going to remain stagnant. So yeah, maybe some shaky roads, etc. But because of the economy that we have, the strategic positioning, etc., it's going to bounce back in a certain area. It may dip a bit, but it's going to come back. So make sure that you are structured well, and then hold on and be consistent.
Right. All right. Can any company be too small? If it's just I'm just the company.
Nothing.
No.
Zero.
Doesn't matter.
We are in the space to help entrepreneurs.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah. Wonderful stuff. All right. So I want to talk a little more about customer service.
Oh, sure.
We've been talking about this for years, decades. Is it getting better?
Customer service, first it begins with from the junior to the senior, right? And as I tell my amazing employees, it has to begin with you. Every single day, we have to wake up and deal with our issues first. So yes, whatever is going on with your personal life, you keep that outside of the office. So when you walk through those doors, you're EBS. You're representing EBS. And likewise, if you're working for whomever the company is, Guardian, when you walk through the doors, you need to represent them. Yeah. And if you do that and understand, keep in mind that these guys are paying me every week or every month, whatever it is, a paycheck. And my actions dictates whether I get this paycheck or they struggle to give it to me, your mindset will change. So forgetting everything else, at the end of the day, it is giving your 100%. One of the companies that I act as CFO for, their motto is 100% is normal. So 100% being normal, every single day you give it. If at any particular point they're not giving back to you, similar to a relationship, a marriage, whatever, make that decision and jump. You know what I mean? If I'm giving you my 100% every day and you consider that normal, but you're not giving back to me the way it is, then I have some decisions to make. Yeah. I tell you, I need to have that conversation with you. And if you still don't want to change, guess what? Find a different. Anyhow, I'm not giving marriage advice.
Doesn't make sense to stick around and be grumpy on the job and give bad customer service.
No. Because you're tanking the business.
Yeah.
You're strangling the business. Competition is tight. How do you wake up and be your best? One of our partners at EBS says, be your best self every single day. And how do you become a better version of yourself every single day? Giving 100% back and understanding that nobody owes you anything.
And if you're strangling the business, then you're strangling yourself as well.
Yeah, and then business owners have to be cognizant of when to cut and not be afraid, oh, we've been together so long. That's all well and good, but are you thinking about the relationship? That's wonderful, and you need to think about your employees, but what about the relationship with your entity? Are they doing the justice that they need to do?
Let me ask you this, because there's this conversation about the differences in generations and how they work. And you got a different generation.
You got some young folks.
You got some young folks working for you.
I think it's about mentorship.
Okay.
And Devardo, can you tell me a little bit about what Fee says about quality? How do we deal with quality of financial statements, etc.?
How old are you, by the way, Devardo?
Oh, I'm 20. I'm 24.
Okay, you're pretty
I'm 23, sorry.
He's not sure.
He's a young guy.
How do you deal with quality? What do we say there?
Okay, so when it comes to quality of the financial statements, essentially she tells us to always be on top of everything, to know the company through and through, to always keep up with our work with said company so that know the financials through and through, so that when they have a question about the financials, about why this is like this, you're able to give them an answer that ties back to everything that
Absolutely.
you're looking at.
Yeah.
So no matter the generational gap, I think mentorship is key. I have a 15-year-old, and the generational gap, like even the language,
Yeah, they don't speak
I
same language.
struggle, right? I struggle with it. But quality and excellence, those are regardless of generation,
Yeah.
right? So if you teach your employees quality and excellence, teach your kids quality and excellence every day, showing up and showing out, not only showing up, but be of high energy and getting it done, I think we can close that.
Yeah.
Just the dragging, coming to work, another day. What are your goals? It's good to listen to your employees as to what they want to achieve. Because if you want to become, I always encourage our employees to be whatever they want to be. But once you identify that, be great at it.
Yeah.
You want to be a singer? Okay, EBS going to show up and clap. We're going to dance, all of that stuff. But we understand that Lanique wants to be X, so we're going to support her. So understanding what your employees' end game is. What are they looking for? Are they also looking to be an entrepreneur? Can you buy into the company? They know also, once you get to the senior level, you get to the manager level, you can become a partner. And it's not a spooky thing. You get to those levels where you don't need supervision like that. You buy into the company, and it's all ours.
Well, we always hear people our age group talking about working with the younger folks. But how do you all feel working with people a little bit older? Is there
Careful now.
is there a real difference? Do you like these Gen X people or millennials? No. Is there a difference? Lanique?
For me, there isn't much difference because I've been, since I was younger.
And how old are you, by the way?
I am 22.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Even younger. Okay.
Yes. So since I was in school or high school, for the summer, I had a problem with being idle. So for me, it's one school is closed. What can I be doing? So can I work? Being home is like, okay, what's next? So for me, going into working or being with persons who are of, best way to say it, older generation, it was never a problem for me because my mindset was always, what is next? Or what can I do? Or what can I do to better Lanique? Or what can I do to better the Bahamas? So
Okay.
Was that something instilled in you, or that's kind of who you've been?
I really feel like that's just how I've been.
Yeah.
So, but I do give props to my parents.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I feel like it's just generally Lanique.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Eduardo? Is it hard working with the old timers?
I don't know
And
who
he's
they
a
are.
comedian. He thinks he's a comedian, right?
All right, so I'm not going to say old timer because that has consequences, but it's not hard actually. Like the hardest thing that I would say, especially if you're working with someone as experienced as Felicia, like sometimes the way they talk or terms that they use is like it's confusing, but like once you have context and once you like get used to it, like it's easy for you to like adapt and like learn. But other than that, like it's mostly just fine. Like there isn't a lot of things that they're like uptight about or anything like that. But they're just like your regular coworker.
Okay. Well, that's good.
The older folks are not uptight.
Right. So you see, we all have the same feelings about each other. And once you get over some of those words,
That's it.
then we're all humans, right?
That's it.
So I got to ask you this: are there any companies or industries that you deal with? You like, I wish I could help them. I wish they'd be clients of EBS. Like this group really needs some help. You don't have to name them.
I used to think that way. Like years ago, probably 5 years ago, I used to say, well, I wish I could get my hands on these public service departments just to show the flow and deal. But then I realized that was probably youth. I'm not sure. I probably would pull my hair out, maybe. But no, honestly, we see a lot in various industries, and we hold them equally.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, whether you have you're selling peanuts on the side of the road, or you are a big time radio personality, or whatever it is, we enjoy working with those persons.
And it doesn't seem like there's much of a difference between the private and public sector here. They will face the same challenges.
I think there is.
Oh, really?
I really think there is. It's
Dwight has no faith.
one is for profit, and one is generally shouldn't be for profit. So I think it's probably easier from a bureaucratic standpoint in the private sector, maybe. So there are vast differences.
Well, there should be, definitely.
But the government wants to run certain businesses for profit. But again,
I wouldn't get it.
Certain things aren't. I don't. I'm just saying.
See, we got some issues. Yeah.
Okay.
But do you walk? Are you at that stage, and maybe you're building this up too, where you walk into a business and you're like, you're just very super critical of it because of where you work?
No comment.
Okay. All right. Sorry, you mentioned something about knowing the company that you're doing the books for inside and out. And do you end up having to represent those businesses? Maybe say they want to go public or they want to do shares out to the public. You have to represent them. Say the owner just doesn't want to wrap their head around financials. Is that something that you guys can do?
I personally haven't had the chance to do it, but yes, it is something that we could do.
Awesome.
For business.
Yeah.
All right, we don't have too much time left, but this texter is asking,
Sure.
Should one even consider starting a new business here in the Bahamas, especially when you have to pay all these license fees, the overhead's expensive with the electricity and water. By the time you're done, you can barely make a profit, especially if you are renting a storefront. Is it worth it anymore?
And what's the caller's name? The texter's name?
I don't know.
Well, texter. Listen, the first step that you do is do your business plan. So you look to see if it would be viable. Believe it or not, we're one of the lower economies to do business in. Believe it or not.
In terms of costs?
In terms of taxes. Yes, we pay taxes in certain areas, but when you see that 30-something, 20-something% slipping out of your business in other very close neighboring economies, you'd realize that it's actually very good doing business in the Bahamas. Yes, we have some bottlenecks here and there, but generally it's good. What will determine your success, it's the product that you're offering, the service you're offering, and to offer that, who's your target market, etc. So make that determination by liking it to dating. You don't go and get married to somebody just, at least you shouldn't. You take them out on dates, you take them, we were having a conversation last night at our anniversary dinners, you spend time traveling with them to see what they look like, maybe go in the winter, etc. Understand your business.
Spend all 4 seasons.
Exactly.
See how they are at Christmas.
Exactly. Do the business plan. Spend the money on the business plan. And then the business plan should take into consideration business license fees, this fee, that fee. VAT is not an expense for you, the business, right? So let's get that. That's you actually save some money if you net it out with input VATs. That's a different conversation. But spend the time understanding your business plan and then make that determination as to whether you want to do the business. Rent is high, but your research in finding the right space. Maybe you may not even need a storefront. Maybe you need a mobile service, just a van. How you want to do it. Maybe you want to be, yes, we hear Amazon, etc., but maybe you want to create that Amazon type situation. Understand it, be consistent. The Bahamas is a great economy to grow your business, and we've seen it. We've seen a lot of successful businesses in the economy. Yes, we grump and rave and all of that, but like I said, regardless of political party and affiliation, the product, the economy is what drives us.
Yeah, and determining that is what EBS does.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so let people know how to reach you, how to get more information about it, Executive Business Solutions. Let everyone know everything.
Sure. So, like I said, we do the 30 minutes free consultation. Our business planning partner is phenomenal when it comes to dealing with that. So we can be reached on 393-3333 or info@executive-business.com. All right?
I'm looking at your website right now. Great information there. Thank you for being here. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, yeah.
You need to come back. You have great
Thank you
information
so
to give
much.
folks.
I
And
appreciate
great
you.
energy as well.
Thank you.
Felicia Bazard, Lanika Roll, and DeVardo McKenzie. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For having us.
All right. We're going to take a break and be back with our final few minutes of Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers. For window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
With RBC,
your ideas become plans.
Your plans become memories.
This is retirement. And your dreams become your life.
whether it's planning that family vacation, owning your dream home, or retiring comfortably, your ideas are everything. And RBC is here to help make them happen. With RBC, your ideas happen here.
You work hard for your money, so let your money work for you. With as little as $1,000 to start, you can watch your money grow by investing in CFAL's Bahamian dollar and US dollar mutual funds, each tailored to match your unique investment profile. Our expert advisors are dedicated to crafting personalized investment strategies to help you achieve your financial goals. Don't miss out on the chance to earn higher returns on your hard-earned money. Join the thousands of investors who trust CFAL and start your journey toward financial freedom today. Visit us at cfal.com to learn more about our saving and investment options. And let us help you build wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Doctors Hospital has reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. We understand that your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnoses and true personalized treatment begins. With locations across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Exuma, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshosp.com.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
It's time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. The government is in wait-and-see mode on international bond market financing. That's according to the Minister of Economic Affairs, Michael Alkitis. He was speaking to Latin Finance this week, explained that while interest is strong from the market, the government is waiting for more favorable borrowing costs. The publication spoke to Alkitis during his visit to Santiago, Chile, for the Inter-American Development Bank's annual meetings. Alkitis telling the publication of significant interest in a new bond issuance from investors. He told them that investors like the Bahamas' credit rating and encourage us to go to the market. He said that despite the investor appetite, the country is currently focused on improving its economic indicators. Overseas, after weeks of White House hype and public anxiety, U.S. President Donald Trump is set today to announce a barrage of self-described reciprocal tariffs on friend and foe alike. The new tariffs, coming on what Trump is calling Liberation Day, are a bid to boost U.S. manufacturing and punish other countries for what he has said are years of unfair trade practices. But by most economists' assessments, the risky move threatens to plunge the economy into a downturn and mangle decades-old alliances. The White House is exuding confidence despite the political and financial gamble being undertaken. According to the White House press secretary, April 2nd will, quote, go down as one of the most important days in modern American history. Those reciprocal tariffs that Trump plans to announce follow similar recent announcements of 25% taxes on auto imports, levies against China, Canada, and Mexico, and expanded tariffs on steel and aluminum. Trump has also put tariffs against countries that import oil from Venezuela and plans separate import taxes on pharmaceutical drugs, lumber, copper, and computer chips. And Tesla sales declined 13% in the first 3 months of the year, another sign that Elon Musk's once high-flying electric car company is struggling to attract buyers. The double-digit drop is likely due to a combination of factors, including its aging lineup, competition from rivals, and a backlash from Musk's embrace of right-wing politics. It's also a warning that the company's first quarter earnings report later this month could disappoint investors. Tesla reported deliveries of 336,681 globally in the January to March quarter. The figure was down from sales of 387,000 in the same period last year. The decline came despite deep discounts, zero financing. Others polled by FactSet expected much higher deliveries of 408,000. And in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX. From Tuesday, market movers, Bank of the Bahamas moving 7,000 shares, closing at 450 unchanged. Focall moving 6,000 unchanged at 610. Consolidated Water down 1 cent, closing at 489. Emira Incorporated up 9 cents, closing at 1040. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 3,026.33, up 0.07. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And that's going to do it for us today. Chester, thank you so much for being here.
Always a pleasure.
Really appreciate it.
Do you? Yes. I mean, you're welcome.
you know. Wow. I'm not going to say anything. Just going to leave it. Yesterday, you tried something like this too every day.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Boy, I tell you. We'll see you next week, if not before. And I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.